Hi, everybody. It is Monday, the 1st of May. Sorry not to be here over the weekend. Saturday was a packed day with my one-on-one FaceTime and Skypes. And then yesterday just did a ton of yard work and took care of, and had to do some tracks. I did 3 songs for people yesterday and have 2 more to do today. It's raining out today. I mean, it's so crazy. It was like 80 something yesterday, and today and maybe the next couple of days it's supposed to be raining. So, but I love the rain, so I'm not complaining. The infection seems to finally be subsiding. The swelling and everything through here has gone down considerably, and it's not nearly as sore as I was. I still have a few days of antibiotics on that treatment. So I'm going to do a little music, and then I've got to go to drop off some books at the post office and do a bunch of errands and stuff. Looking forward to this coming Saturday is when I'll be at Norm's Rare Guitars in Tarzana, California, doing a book signing. I'm figuring I'll probably start about 2 o'clock, and I'll go to whenever, If the crowd is gone by 2:05, then I'm out of there in 5 minutes, and if they go on for, however long people will be there, I will be there hanging out. You just come visit her and dig Norm's store. It's unbelievable. So that's going on. And today, musically, I think I'm going to, also the other day I did Rita Coolidge, and today is Rita's birthday. So happy birthday, Rita. Today I'm going to do Michel Polnareff, a French artist. I'll read a thing about him, but it was so much fun with him when we I've done 2 albums with him, I think. And but when we did the one I'm going to feature today, he asked me to put a band together to go to Europe to do some shows over there. And so I ended up putting this band together, which was Mike Baird on drums, Lee Rittenauer on guitar, and David Foster on keyboards. It was great. We had a great time. We could not play in France because he had tax issues and could not go to France. So we ended up playing in Belgium. And trainloads of people came, because the guy's huge over there. Trainloads of people came to the gig in Brussels, I believe we played, because he could not step into France. And we also did a TV show in Luxembourg that was with the Luxembourg Symphony Orchestra. That was just a television show that went on over there. But the thing that was really great, and I'll never forget this, is the president of Belgium was a huge Michel Polnareff fan. So for like the reception afterwards, which had like all these French celebrities and stuff that came to the show, he said, you can use my personal train for it. So we're putting after the show through the Belgian countryside, and all these people are schmoozing and hanging out, and I kind of walk through the train, and I get to the very last car of the train, and it's the pastry car. And I walk in there, and there was a table about half the size of a football field, it seems like, covered with the best custard-filled chocolate eclairs I've ever had in my life. And while everybody was schmoozing up front, I sat in there and got so fucking sick, but I could not stop. I mean, it may as well have been heroin. It was unbelievable. I just kept going for it. But the thing that was nuts with the gig is it was a big, huge arena show, and we were supposed to have the Rolling Stones PA system for it. And when it came, they hung it up in customs and did not deliver it to the venue. So we ended up playing this huge arena kind of acoustically. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the craziest gigs I've ever done. And Michelle has like this total image thing going on. That's great. He's got these kind of, what's his name? From John Kay from Steppenwolf. I mean, everybody would kind of go, oh yeah, this guy's got an attitude, he's got those shades on. He's had eye problems and needed to wear that. And Michelle's the same way. So he created an image with these dark glasses and everything. That became his hook. But I'm going to read a little about him, and then I'll tell you about the album, and I'll play a couple of tracks. But he's a fascinating character. So Michel Polnareff was born in 1944. He's a French singer-songwriter who was popular in France from the mid-1960s until the early 1990s with his penultimate original album, Kama Sutra. He is still critically acclaimed and occasionally tours France, Belgium, and Switzerland. In the early years, it says, Michel was born into an artistic family. His mother, Simone Lane, was a Breton dancer, and his father, Leland Polnareff, who's Russian, immigrated from Odessa, where my grandparents on my father's side emigrated from. And his father worked with Edith Piaf. He attended Cours Hattemer, a private school where he learned guitar, and after his studies, military service, and a brief time in insurance, he began to play his guitar on the steps of the Sacré-Cœur, which is one of the most beautiful churches in Paris. In 1965, Polnareff won a prize in Paris of recording at Barclay Records, but as part of the counterculture, he turned down the opportunity. It was Lucien Morissy, then director at Europe One, who made him sign with AZ. His first disc, La Poupée qui fait nom, in 1966 was an unexpected success. Its new musical style and Polnareff's atypical image crossed borders. During this period, he played concerts in Brussels for 1 week, sharing the bill with Jeff Beck. In France, he gained many hits such as La Poupée qui fait nom, Love Me, Please Love Me, Sukel et Toi, Suis-je né, Ta 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 Ta. It's a whole bunch of things. On his hit single Holidays, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones were on it. Let's see, he also played with his image, black glasses, fancy trousers, and ambiguous provocations. His song L'amour avec toi could not be played before 10 p.m. because it was considered pornographic at the time in France. The song is mild by today's standards, it says. From 1969 on, Polnareff was hugely successful, tours, music, videos, hits. He also became a target for scandal mongers. Tragedy struck in September of 1970 when his friend Lucien Morissy died by suicide. At the same time, he also suffered a relationship crisis. After a rest period in the Paris area and long months in isolation healing from his depression, Polnareff gradually resumed his touring. His health and his morale improved, but not his sight. He was forced to protect his eyes with thick, dark glasses. His problems didn't stop there. In 1972, a promotional poster for his 1972 Polnar Revolution tour showed his naked buttocks. Although the scandal benefited him commercially, it brought censorship and lawsuits. During his world tour, he learned that Bernard Sinault, his manager, had run off with all his money, leaving him broke. Unable to pay his debts and crushed by the death of his mother, he left France for the United States, where he lived in anonymity. He was joined by his friend Annie Fargay, who became his manager and stayed in that capacity for many years. Annie was working with him when I worked with him. In 1975, his song Jesus for Tonight made it onto the American Billboard charts. He also created the soundtrack for the exploitation drama Lipstick, which starred American model Margot Hemingway and her sister Mariel Hemingway. But his success in the United States was not as great as in France. Polnareff missed his fellow musicians and French musical community. He developed a passion for computers. During the 1975 tour, he performed in Belgium, and thousands of his French fans came to see him. That was the thing we did over there. His forced exile did not prevent him from composing, and his albums had mixed success. In summer of 1977, he released a new song called Lettre de France. It wasn't a song written for a girl called France, but rather for his country that he missed a lot. The song was co-written by his friend and a successful writer in France, Jean-Loup Dabidi. Polnareff asked him to write the lyrics, and Dabidi's idea was to write an imaginary letter to France, the country Polnareff had left. The song immediately became very popular in France. It goes on and about him returning to France. Mike Oldfield worked on his stuff. Rumors spread about his health, and in 1994 he finally decided to have cataract surgery and successfully removed to prevent him from going blind. Then he came back to the States. It goes through all of this stuff in here. he worked with like tons and tons of people. It's really a fascinating guy. I'm not going to go on and on about this. If you want to get any more information, just go ahead and look up Michel Polnareff. The album that I'm going to feature it's Michel Polnareff from 1975. I keep jumping back into the 90s here. Michel Polnareff, or Fame a la Mode. So it was double title on this one. It was his fifth studio album, and Polnareff has a little info here. Polnareff, exiled in the United States, tries to enter the American charts with this album entirely sung in English, but the success will really not be at the rendezvous. But the success will not really be at the rendezvous, despite titles such as A Fashionable Fame, alternative vocal slowness and syncopated parts, even dance in quite complex synthetic arrangements, including sound effects, or Jesus for Tonight, censored in the United States. The list of players on this is amazing, though. There's a bunch of us played bass. I grabbed the tracks I'm pretty sure I played on. David Hungate, Riney Press, and Willie Weeks and myself played bass on it. David Kemper, Jim Gordon, Jim Keltner, and Nigel Olson were all the drummers involved. Andrew Gold, Gary Stovall, Lee Rittenauer, and Steve Cropper, and Donnie Dacus, and Fred Tackett, and Michel Polnareff were all the guitar players. Michel was also on keyboards. Sax was Stan Richards. Trumpet, Michel Polnareff. Percussion was Russ Kunkel. Background vocals, Andrew Gold, Bobby King, Brooks Honeycutt, Cliff Givings, Ellen Kearney, Eugene Garfin, Jennifer Warnes, Leah Kunkel, Louis Furet, Terry Evans, and Valerie Carter. It was produced by Bill Halverson, Bill Schnee, Greg Prestapino, and Michel Polnareff, engineered by Robert Van Hove. Mastered at Artisan Sound. And so that's it's a lot of crap going on here. It's amazing. This one is called Holding On to Smoke. So here we go. This is Michel Polnareff. And here we go.
All your lands in the fire, one by one they go, disappearing into flames. Then make a nearly
Here's one called No, 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 Not Now. Here, let's see what we got here.
Can really make you sad. So unkind, and now you're coming back to me. You'd like to get it straight, but it's too
I always loved when I'd get to, especially when I'd get to go over to France and work, when I would record on a number of projects with Véronique Sanson. We worked at Guillaume Tell Studios in Paris, which I think is gone now. A whole bunch of different things over there. It was always great, and I always loved playing the Olympia in there. Played there with Toto, played there with Vero. Vero, I think we did almost a month at the Olympia. I think we played there with James Taylor way back in the day. It's really fond memories of, actually one of my best memories in Paris was when we were doing this like 28 nights or something like that with Véronique Sanson. We were staying, Neil Wilkinson, the drummer on that, great English drummer, he and I were staying up in Pigalle. They had us put up there, and we would walk every day to the Olympia. And the first day we were walking, about halfway down to the place, we walked by this crepe stand. This wonderful lady had this crepe stand, and so we stopped and had a crepe. And then the next day we stopped and went, let's do this again. Well, we did it every day, and she would kind of look at, I guess, her clock, and she would see us coming down the street, and every day by the time we got to her stand, our crepes were sitting there waiting for us. I love that kind of stuff when that happens like that. So, okay, here's one last one. This is called Fame a la Mode. Let me see here if there's any other info on this. No, so let's just listen.
Fame à la mode, flash but explode. All the electronics overload. When you have the show, then you know the show must go on. Hitting the road, salary zone. a queen wearing crushed velveteen. Someone slow down the machine. Too much caffeine had too much nicotine. Someone slow down the machine. I'm longing for space, longing for time. Why can't folks just say what they need? Why can't they say they're loving life and leading everything? Slow down the machine. I really need some bad to unwind. I really need to rest my mind. Velvet's the game, spike on Monday. 50 magazine will be fun, super sweet. When you have a show, then you know the show must go on.
Yeah,
Making the grade, not getting paid.
Beatles-esque.
I'm rehearsing for a ticket day parade. When you have a show, then you know the show must go on. Star Trek stream. Slow down, trip and queen limousine, black anther scream. Longing for space, longing for time. Why can't folks just say what they mean? Why can't they say they're loving life and leading everything clean? Slow down the machine. I really need so bad to unwind. I really need to rest my mind.
Michel Polnareff. So, yeah, but if you want, read about him. It's a really fascinating journey that this guy has had in his life. But we had a ball over there with him, with our little band. There's, I think, might be something on YouTube from that performance that we did in Luxembourg. Too, I was wearing one of those T-shirts that looks like a tuxedo. It's like so cheesy. What a putz. Okay, well, I'm going to head to the post office and drop off some books now and take care of some other stuff, and then come home and write myself a couple of charts and record a couple of songs for people and send those off. I'm looking forward to that. And again, like I said, I'm looking forward to Saturday at Norm's Rare Guitars in Tarzana, California on Ventura Boulevard. It's between Reseda and Tampa for those that know the area. So take good care, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. I'm going to go enjoy the rain, too.